Hello again and welcome to my shop. Those of you who follow me on a regular basis know that my wife and I are moving to a new home. We've sold our old home, packed up all of our stuff, and we're living in an apartment while they complete building the new home. My wife has a little glass ring tray that she can put her rings on, and she has packed that tray. So she's been laying her rings on the counter, on the dresser, all over the place, and she's concerned she's going to lose them. She misses her little tray. So, as a gift for her, I decided to make her own ring tray. If you'd like to know how I did it, stick around and I'll show you. After taking the corners off of this piece of teak, I've got it chucked up, and I just want to true it up and put a tenon on the back so that I can grab it with my jaws. Got my blank mounted in my chuck and brought my tailstock up just for safety. I'm going to go ahead and true the face of the blank up, and then I'll start forming the shape of the dish. I need to get a hole drilled in the center of my blank for my tenon, and it'll also help me remove material as I shape the ring dish. I've taken my Jacob's chuck and I have placed a 10mm drill bit in it, and I've got some tape on here so that I only go that far into the blank. I've also marked that on the outside of the blank so I know as I shape the back of the blank I need to be farther out this way, as well as when I part it off I don't want to get in so deep that I take the bottom out of my dish. I'm going to use a scraper for cleaning up the front of my dish. Basically, I just want to kind of cup it out a little bit, give it a nice shape. I'm pausing for a moment just to check the depth. I've got a little ways to go. I just want to make sure I don't go too deep and then don't leave enough room for my tenon to be properly glued in. So I'm going to take a little more out of the dish. I'm happy with the concave portion of my ring dish. Now what I want to start doing is working around the side here and just kind of giving it a nice shape on the outside. I think I'm going to go ahead and get this sanded up. I like the shape. It's very simple. I think that's simple is elegant, so I think she'll really like it. Got my lathe turned down as far as it'll go. Just going to go through the grits. Not going to make you watch the sanding process because, well, We all know sanding is boring. I'll come back when it's sanded up and show you what it looks like. I am really happy with how this ring dish is turning out. I've sanded it to 12,000 grit. I have not put a finish on it yet. I think I'm going to go with a friction polish. I've got some Hut Crystal Coat. I'm going to put a couple of coats of that on here and then buff it out with a little bit of Hut Wax, which should make it look really nice. And then I'm going to come back, and where my tenon hole is, I'm going to come in and cut a little bit of a ledge in there so that whenever I make the ring holder, the tenon can go down into the hole, and there'll be a little ledge for the piece to seat into, so that it has a nice transition between the ring post and the dish. So once I get those two things done, I'll part it off. We'll get it flipped around and figure out how to work the back half of it. Well, I'm very happy with how this is turning out. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to use my wedding ring, and I'll go ahead and find the size. Let me lock that down. Okay. And now I know how large I want my shoulder to be. Oh yeah, I'm dead on. Perfect. All right, let me get her parted off, and then we'll get it flipped around and see what we can do to clean the back up. Well, I chickened out on parting it all the way off because I don't want to do any damage to it. So I'm just going to take my little Japanese pull saw here, and I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting this off. There we go. All right. Now let me figure out how to get it mounted back up so that I can clean the back up. I'm going to check and make sure, yeah, my sleeve will fit within the sleeve that I cut on the bowl, so that's good, so I won't have to worry about marring the bowl up. What I'm going to do now is get this down to a 1/4 inch tenon, or 10 millimeter tenon, so that I can chuck the bowl up. I'll use a 10 millimeter wrench that I've sharpened to get a perfect 10 millimeter tenon. I've got the ring dish hot glued onto a tenon and a shoulder. I'm going to go ahead and take very light cuts, clean the bottom up, and then I'll make the bottom a bit concave so that it sets level on the dresser. I've got the bottom turned and finished. Now I'm just going to try to carefully break it loose. There we go, it's coming loose. Alright. And you can see the bottom, how I did it. I just gave it kind of a little lip, and it actually sets very nice now. So now to turn the finger. First thing I want to do is get this blank to size so that it's the size of my wedding ring from end to end. Then I can go ahead and shape this end. And once this end is shaped, I'll use my tenon tool and I can cut a perfect 10mm tenon, and then it'll be ready to finish and glue into the ring bowl. I am now to the proper size, so what I'm going to do is from the end here, I'll pick a spot and I'll start tapering for the finger. I'm very happy with the shape. I put a symbolic wooden ring down here as a decoration. I'm going to go ahead and pull the tailstock back, round over the end, and then I'll come back and cut my tenon. And once the tenon's cut, we'll be ready to finish. Got my tenon cut. Now I'm going to go in with my parting tool and just sort of undercut that a little bit, and we'll start sanding. I've got the finger all sanded down. I'm ready to go ahead and apply the finish. Let's go ahead and get it parted off. It's time now for a little glue up. It's going to sit right in there like that. That's what it's going to look like. So let's get the CA glue out. Very carefully with this CA glue because I don't want to make a mess. Okay. And we'll just let it sit for a while and dry. I'd like to thank you for following along with me in the shop today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share the video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below and I'll get back to you. I had a great time making this. This is the first time I ever did anything like this. It was all new to me, new territory, but I really had a great time making it. I think it turned out beautiful. The wood is teak, and I can't wait to get home and give it to my wife. Everybody have a great evening, and remember, you are always welcome in my shop. Take care.